Now, do you think because you create the entirety of the project, you make sure you play the best roles? Why don't you source other people?
There is somebody that can play it better than the person who can play it better than me.
Yeah, that's true.
An actor is a canvas in the hands of a director.
Right.
So it's not about the individual, it's about who is the story telling me to work with.
What do you think about friendships in Nollywood?
Industry friendship be like cropped up, they took over Bele.
Angela Okorie is always fighting with one person or the other. What do you feel about this lady?
President General among the nation. We salute you, President General.
What's up, people? You are welcome to another episode at Friday Night at the House. I'm your girl, Asari, your host. And on today's show, we've got no other than actress, model, scriptwriter, producer. She goes by the name, are you ready for it? Trinity. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hiya.
How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
It's good to have you.
Yeah, thanks.
So have you heard about Friday Night at the House before?
Yes, I have.
So it's all about vibes, right, guys? Can you give us a more detailed introduction about yourself?
Okay, my name is Trinity Ugunabo. I'm a filmmaker, movie producer and an actress, and a storyteller. Yeah, from somewhere in the east, the Demili North local government area of Anambra State. Yes.
Okay.
And again, I'm generally all about film.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you're from Idemili.
Yep.
Let me digress a bit.
Okay.
What's you guys' connection with snakes?
Okay, so story has it, I won't say rumor has it, that there is the snake called Eke, a python. It's like it's not, it's believed that it's not harmful to people from where I come from, right? So I think it's an ancestral thing and all.
It's an ancestral
yeah,
deity. So
yes.
deity. So people apparently in the east, when a snake comes to, particularly in Idemili, when a snake comes to your doorstep, it's actually a good sign.
Good, yes, good omen.
So
actually.
what happens when someone kills a snake?
It is believed that you have to bury it like a human being.
Wow.
Yes, you have to bury it like a human and, do some appeasing of the gods.
Well, there's also a state in Delta where if you kill a duck, you have to put a coin in the duck's mouth because that's actually an ancestor. We have some very interesting beliefs in Nigeria, to be honest. So, Trinity, I need to know what inspired you to go into to filmmaking. We know entertainment isn't easy for women to break into. So tell me your inspiration, then the challenge.
Okay, so passion first. I've always been passionate about telling stories. I tell stories a lot. I remember when my mom was alive, God bless her. So she would say, come back from school so you can tell me stories. And she would ask my sister to come back from school so she can run errands. So apparently I was the gossip and the storyteller. Yeah. And challenge, I would say funding, getting funds to make good movies. The truth is we actually have really good stories. But
do we? Sorry to cut you. Do we?
Yes.
A lot of Nollywood movies are very cliche. I mean, we see the same thing over and over and over again. So it makes me wonder, like, we have reputable organizations like banks that actually fund these movies, but we see the same script all over again.
So to be honest, they are good stories. I am not going to overlook the fact that there are people who there are stories that are just shallow, but then they are good stories. Truthfully, a lot of people want to tell good stories, but then you don't have the funding. You don't have what it takes to tell a good story. You find yourself cutting corners. And in the end, when you cut corners, you end up with the same story you do not like, the same story people have problems with, right? So I think funding is a major challenge we have. Because in all honesty, if you have a good story and you have the right amount of money, nothing can stop you from telling a good story. Because look at it, Nigeria, we're actually blessed with a lot of things, right? You can travel the world to tell your story. But then when you don't have enough funding to to fly people and take people from states to states, you end up telling the story in the same place. You realize that people repeat locations, people repeat places. You're seeing a film and then you're seeing another film,
The
and because
same
of the
place.
location, it feels like you're seeing the same
same
film,
movie.
right? Yeah. So most times, funding basically.
I need to know, being a director, especially in such a sexist country, because we know Africans or Nigerians, we respect the men more. So have you ever been on sets where you're shouting, cut, or do this and do that, and everyone's just looking, woman, should deal with it?
Okay, I haven't delved into directing yet. I intend to. I produce, right?
Okay.
I produce, I act, and I write, right? But directing, not yet. Hopefully soon.
So, sorry to cut you in, but to answer that question, when you're producing films, do you experience that sexism because you're a woman and you're not giving that respect you should be given?
Honestly, no, I wouldn't say I have. Right, I think it boils down to your team, the people you're working with, right? So, if you're working with people who knows how to explain this, if you're working with people who know your capacity, who know what you're capable of doing, they don't. I don't think there is. I haven't experienced that before.
But if you were put in that situation, how do you think you'll handle that?
If I was put in the situation where someone looks down on me because I'm a woman, how I'll handle it. So there's this write-up I saw on I think Instagram or something, where they say when people say you can't do it twice and take pictures. I had to do it and you see it, right? And then in your face, basically.
Right. Now, talking about stereotypes, we know in Nollywood or in African movies, once you play a good role and you're good at it, they always get cast for that role. So how do you think actresses or yourself would break out from a typical stereotype that is put on you by directors, scriptwriters, and the others?
Okay. So I would say I would have said endeavor to get a different role, but then it's in a situation where that is not possible. Find a way to do your thing and project yourself. Yeah. Find a way. Like, okay, this is the social media era where you can be anything. You can be a content creator and be the star through creating content. So if you feel that people have stereotyped you, try something new. Put out skits, put out short videos,
And call the shots.
Exactly, and call the shot. Project yourself. Let them know that you can do beyond what they think you can do. Yeah. So,
have you ever been stereotyped? Have you been put in a box before? And why do you think that?
So I think there was a time, or it still happens, where I get scripts where I have to be like the main wicked person.
To be very honest, I can see why, because you're very laid. I'm not saying you're mean or wicked. You're very laid back, very quiet, very mature. You're always very mature and I would say strict, but
I pity you now. Oh, voila. so the thing is, I just get that kind of script like all the time, and at the point I asked myself, am I even wicked? What's going on really, right? But then luckily for me, I started getting like scripts that were pretty challenging, because the bad part of it is it now gradually becomes your comfort zone. You get to see a script and it feels like you're doing the same thing you did yesterday, day before yesterday, and it is not. I don't. It's not something that helps your creativity, right? So, but then I think they know now.
Now, every actress wants to be pushed, right? Or every actor wants to be pushed. How do you get yourself to play a more challenging role than you've ever played before?
Okay, sorry, I'm not going to be bitchy, but I write my story, produce my film, and cast myself.
Okay, that's good. So now, aren't you being biased that you're giving yourself the right to choose the role you want to play, whereas someone else could have played it better than you could have, to be very honest? And now, I'm sure you're a fantastic actress, but there are people that are equally as good. Now, do you think because you create the entirety of the project, you make sure you play the best roles? Why don't you source other people?
Okay, so you said something. I would go through it and come back.
Okay.
You said somebody could play it better than me, and then there is somebody that can play it better than the person who can play it better
Yeah,
than
that's
me.
true.
Right. So you know your what, you know what you can do, right? And that is the essence of a director. An actor is a canvas in the hands of a director.
Right.
Do you understand? So you get a good director, but then again, mind you, I've done a couple of films and I didn't even feature in it. I'm very big on story. That is the reason why I say I write my story, right? So it's not just like I got a story and then I casted myself. No. So if you're telling the story, you're writing the story, you already have, you know where to factor in your character. Do you
And
understand?
to be honest, I also think you would know exactly, since you wrote the movie, you know exactly how you want the character to be.
Exactly.
So that's also a point to your
Yeah.
advantage.
I'm big on, I'm actually very big on casting.
Right.
Right.
So-
I don't have to do it if I do not have to do it.
So what do you look out for in giving out roles to people? Do you look out for appearance? Do you look out for screen commanding presence? Do you look out for how the person speaks, vocabulary? What is your major point when giving out a role?
So it's not about the individual, it's about the story. What does the story speak to me? Who is the story telling me to work with? Who does the story want? Right? So you can write a story and you don't want someone who is commanding. You need someone who is calm.
Right.
Right. So it's basically about the story and not the individual.
Okay. It's about the story and not the individual. Though that's a good point. I mean, I think a lot of script writers or producers need to do this because in Nollywood, everyone is connections. Oh, my friend, I know this person and she can play this role. Let me call her. Whereas B could have played it better than A. Let's take a break from Nollywood for a bit before we come back into that. Let's talk about Christmas. We are in the spirit of Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Can we talk about your favorite Christmas movie that you've ever seen?
Is Home Alone a Christmas movie?
Definitely is.
Yes, Home Alone.
I love that. Now I think there are about three of them. Do you have any particular one? And
I think the okay, no, not the first one. I think the second one. Yeah, I don't think all of them.
why do you like
enjoyed.
Home Alone? Is it the mischief or just the Christmas vibe?
Okay, one, the Christmas vibe, and the fact that it's a movie that I have been watching as a child, and even as an adult, I see it again, and you know,
still
I
love it.
enjoy. I love it. Right. So it gives me that Sound of Music vibes. You know, that film. You can never outgrow Sound of Music or
Definitely
Home
a
Alone.
classic.
Yeah, never.
Definitely. Now, speaking of Christmas, do you think exes deserve Christmas gifts? Would you give your ex a Christmas gift or would you accept a gift from your ex? She's like, wait, how?
X. Is it because there is X in the mass? What's my business with my ex? I don't want my ex does not.
I mean, we know Christmas is all about love. We know Christmas is all about love, is spreading gifts. I mean, that's a big. When we go to the Western culture, on Christmas Day, everyone is unboxing presents. So it's not really about, okay, she's my family or she's my boyfriend. It's just about love, loving everybody as you should. So I think, I think if I and my ex didn't fall out on bad terms, I probably can give him a gift, right?
My dear, I can't give my ex a gift. Why? He should meet his presents. I can't. Why? Why are you gifting your past?
Right, but I mean, different strokes, but yeah, depends. What would be the most fantastic Christmas present you could get?
Spending time with family, like everybody coming together. That's enough present.
Me, I need Tinubu to reduce the bag of rice to like 15,000 naira because a lot of families are not going to eat fried rice this Christmas. You know that, right?
Obviously.
So personally, I think the government needs to give Nigerians a Christmas gift collectively. And also, with the way everything is going through, the partying is going to slow down. Everybody's just it's going to be a very chill, quiet
The economy
Christmas.
is crazy. It's crazy. You can tell. It shows everywhere. You know, you go to places that are usually really crowded and then you're seeing nobody. You go to, the other day I went with my sister to a mall that was that's usually very crowded, and there were no people.
Everybody's
And you can tell that the economy has really, really
affected businesses
affected
and every.
people. Yeah,
To be
it's
very
crazy.
honest, we're banking on the I just got back to come and pump in some dollars to our economy because, well, and yeah, just to be very fair, someone can come back with $1,000 and be a millionaire in
Are
Nigeria.
they even going to come back?
I hope so.
Are they going to
I
come
hope
back?
so because
Do you think they even feel safe?
true, but you know Nigerians, Jaye is inside our blood. Even if they are robbing on the streets, Nigerians they be like, don't pass there, or let's pass the back and go to that club, you know?
Sure.
So hopefully I just got back, come back and save your people. What do you think about
Please.
these I just got back? Do you think they're overrated? Do you think they actually bring the vibe to the Christmas season?
I think they bring the vibe, right? You being away from home for so long and then coming on a festive period, you just want to do everything and be everywhere, right? And then again, they always come with the buck money, the spenders.
The Odogu
So
spenders.
the Odogu spenders.
But right? I always say this, or we talked about this on a previous show, on another show, that how a lot of girls are going to fall victim to men who aren't serious, but come back and say, oh, I'm looking for a wife, and all they want to do is just get into their panties. Do you think women need to be smart in the festive season, or it's just, you know what, just have your fun, do things. What happens in Rome stays in Rome?
So this is like an old gist, and to be honest, if they haven't changed, they will never change. Yeah, everybody, they all make excuses for themselves, right? And some people are just sheer unlucky. Some people are just naturally, I wouldn't use the word dumb, right? But I have already. And then I don't know, it's just crazy. It's crazy, really. So I had a friend, or okay, I have a friend, yeah, who has been speaking to this guy over the phone, and then he said he was going to come back. Sorry, so I was going to come back to Nigeria to marry you, blah 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 blah. And then you had like this serious relationship. This guy that's been doing so much for you, and you broke up with him.
Oh my
For a
goodness.
total stranger. Dude came back. Dude did all he could do and went back, only for her to realize that he's a married man with 3 kids. Right? So a lot of people, I think girls just, I don't know, girls like being deceived. Maybe it's the whole falling for what they hear thing.
You know what? I think a lot of Nigerian girls or African girls want a means to leave the country, right? Because they're looking at it saying, a man from abroad, he can most probably relocate me over there. So it's a better option for them. But yes, that's what I feel. To be honest, I won't judge anybody because everyone knows where it's paining them somewhere. The girl might be looking at herself and saying, I cannot stand this Lagos. I'm so done. But her putting her eggs in another basket when this one was,
Do you guess?
a bit. Girls, we
no,
need
a
to
lot
be
of people
smart
do
too,
it.
because these men are using their heads. In fact, they've told a man can take you to his mother and his mom will be like, oh, our wife, but he has like 5 other women she's calling our wife. So girls out there, December is coming. Just be smart about it.
Use your head.
Use your head. I know when money is involved and love, when men start talking all these sweet nothings to you, just be like, you know what? Oh, I don't fall, Yakata. Don't follow. Stand up. Every girl, stand up. What would your typical Christmas day be like if you had to be called into work? Do you think that's fair on your part rather than spending it with family?
I would actually prefer to spend Christmas with family, but if it's work and it comes with boom,
What's that boom? Is it hefty funds?
my sister,
She's showing me her her true Igbo nature there.
you can make January 1st Christmas. Christmas is whatever you call it.
That's true. That's very true. And I mean, just do you, man. I love that you're looking out to make yourself more established, looking out to make the funds for yourself, you know. But Christmas, we're here already. We hope it's going to be a good time, good life. We just hope everyone stays safe out there. Don't drink and drive. And don't forget the reason for the season, okay? Can we talk about the industry a little bit more?
Okay.
What do you think about friendships in Nollywood?
I saw something sometime. They say industry friendship be like crop top, they took cover belly.
Hey, then which one is that one again? Please, what's that
and
supposed to mean?
and when I saw it, I laughed literally, and I could relate, right? You are not sure who is who. Doesn't mean they're not good friends. Oh, I have an amazing friend in the industry. She has been like wonderful, right? But then again, industry friendship is just really crazy. A lot of competitions, and you
True.
don't even know who is who. You can't even be vulnerable with these people, because I'm telling you something that matters to me, believing I'm telling it to just you, but then again, I'm telling it to five other people who will tell it to 10 other people. You get, so it's just crazy, and somehow it's easy for them to throw people under the bus. I have once seen a friend. I've seen, no details, but I've seen a friend of someone somewhere where they were about to cast his friend in a job, and then he asked that his friend shouldn't be casted. My friend.
And I thought this only happened between women.
No,
So
ooh, no, this was a guy. I was
wow.
shocked, right? And then, funny thing is, this happened today, and tomorrow, these guys were drinking. They were on the table, drinking and gisting, right? So I don't think that is friendship for me, right? Because I believe your friend should hold it down for you.
But to be honest, they say an enemy isn't outside, is in the circle.
Actually.
So I'm not shocked by it. I'm just disappointed. Crazy things happen in the industry. So when you have ideas, do you hold back from sharing your ideas with friends or scripts saying, oh, this one I think I want to, without being like, what's the word now? I don't want to use jilted,
Worried.
but
Yeah.
someone now you plays your role, or someone now writes the
Right.
script you had in mind.
Okay, so I definitely have my allies, people, my trusted allies, right? But then again, if there is anything I am very big on, is copywriting my stories, right? So most times it's easier, just copyright, and then if you want to share, you're not sharing to. In fact, I don't even think the word is share. You do your pitch, pitch to whoever you want to pitch, but then copyright your stories and your idea. It's very important. People overlook it.
I didn't really know that had substance in Nigeria, that people could actually trademark or copyright their
Yes,
ideas, and it
yes,
actually
yes,
goes through a legal system if any faults
yes.
happens.
As far as your movie title, you copyright it.
Okay, so the title could be copyrighted, but not the storyline, right?
Your story can actually be, yeah.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. So scriptwriters out there, if you don't want your stories to be copied, like Trinity says, don't forget to copyright or trademark your scripts. How long have you been in this industry?
Okay. I've been on and off since school days. I think that's 2012, 2013. I started off as a hairstylist.
Okay.
Yeah. Then makeup, and started acting. Started producing sometime in 21.
Wow.
After Ebony Life Creative Academy.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
as far back as 2012, just on and off, on and off. Then I came in professionally in 2021.
I need to ask, do you think acting is a talent or it should be learned?
So acting, even if it's a talent, it should be harnessed, right? You can never really know it all. You have to learn. You have to read. You have to, you have to get taught, right? So no matter how much of a talent it is, you have to learn to actually know how to do it and do it properly.
Don't you think that's something you learn on the job?
Yeah,
Or you actually have to go to school, like
you
theater
can learn
school?
on the job, but it's actually important to. It doesn't even have to be like theater school. There are film schools now
Okay.
where you don't even have to spend so much time. At least get the basics, or go for a master class or something. You can learn on the job, but you can't even learn all the work ethics on the job. Actually, yes. So, and then again, it's important to go through this schools or classes, so you can network and meet people, get to know better, right? So it can be talent, but it should be harnessed. You can't just let your talent just be. You can't be moving in circles. Things are growing, things are changing. So you harness it.
So, youngins out there, if you're looking to further your acting career, you have to harness your skill, right? If there was one thing in Nollywood you could change, what would that be?
One thing in Nollywood I could change. So, if there's anything I could change in Nollywood, it will probably be. I think this question. How do I answer it? Okay, let's say. I hope and believe to be in a position where I can open doors, right? There is this thing they usually call gatekeeping, right? If there's anything I can change, is change that idea of gatekeeping, opening doors for people, for the very few, and letting talent just waste out there. You get open doors for people, let people come in. It's actually big. The sky is really big, so big enough for all of us to fly, right? So I don't think that creativity should be boxed in the name of gatekeeping.
Now, do you think the rise of social media has led to the decrease of Nollywood movies? Like everyone is now putting like little skits on Instagram or social media where people actually go to get their entertainment from, or people still actually watch or buy Nollywood DVDs. Do they do that?
People still watch Nollywood films. Probably not DVD. Who do you have DVD in your house?
That's a good question.
Exactly. Probably not DVD, but people still watch good movies, right? Skits making, I don't think it really affected anything. They are all different industries in the same industry, right? Okay. So I'm just a believer of whatever it is you're doing, do it well. People want to see quality, right? So for me, it's quality over quantity. Skit making would not stop people from seeing movies, right? So long as the movie is done well.
Good.
Yeah.
Now I need to ask you I don't know if you say private, but your opinion on this. Now we know the actress Angela Okorie, right? I know you're going to be a bit skeptical because you look like someone who doesn't want to step on any toes, but we got to shake things up a bit. Now, Angela Okorie is always fighting with one person or the other. What do you feel about this lady?
President General among the nation. We salute you, President General.
What does that mean? You don't want to answer the question.
Honestly, I don't like to delve into something I don't know so much about. Yeah, I know that she is always fighting. She's always having issues with people. But then again, I'm usually not always interested in going into details. So most times I just see those fights and I'm like, there are other things I could actually
worry about.
Yes.
Now, but do you think these fights are actually for clout? Because a lot of these actresses just do fake beef and be like, you know what, let's throw jabs at ourselves online so we can trend.
Actually, yes.
So you think a lot of these actresses fight online to trend?
Yes, definitely. Maybe that's even why most times, personally, I'm not even interested in all of these things because this is probably something they discussed in their room. Okay, if they happen, they do them. They say, I want to do. I'm okay now. Yab me, insult me, and then these are people that you are there fighting for them. Team this, team that, and then they are at the club drinking, sharing bottles. Right. So why would I want to?
Now I'm going to shake another table. We know about Yul Edochie and Judy Austin and May Yul Edochie and that their saga that was going on. What do you think now as an actress who snatched another supposed actor husband? What do you think about this whole story? Do you think May Edochie was right to not want to be in a polygamous marriage? Or do you think Yul Edochie was wrong for actually getting involved with another actress? What's your take?
Honestly, I don't know what happened till date. We don't know, right? But then again, it is May's decision not to want to get involved in the chaos, because it's chaos. If you knew you wanted to get married to, if you were going to be polygamous eventually, we would have had it as a conversation.
True.
You don't get married to me as a man who just wants to marry one wife, and tomorrow you tell me you want to get married to another wife, and I'm supposed to sit down. I have my beliefs. I have what I stand for. If it doesn't work for me, it doesn't work for me. You won't force me.
But seeing as May and you have been together for quite a long time, have grown up children or have children together, have multiple businesses, investments together, do you think it was smart of her to actually walk away from that marriage?
Was it smart, or is it going to be smart of her to sit in the marriage and then risk her mental health, her sanity, like run mad or probably die? I believe that for her to leave the house, she knows she has a reason, right? Reasons we probably don't even know. Do you understand me? So the fact that she's probably not a troublesome person, just maybe if it was a troublesome person, she would stay there and fight the fight.
True.
Probably one person would have broken their head. This would have been a case of prison or something. But then she's probably not a troublesome person. And she has other things to think about. She has, and that is even the important thing, kids. She has kids to look out for. She has kids to take care of. For goodness sake, this woman, in the midst of all of this thing, lost a child, right? And she was literally the one mourning the child. All by herself, in my opinion, from what I saw on social media. Because you can't tell me you lose a child and then you're coming to come and sing and I will always love you on social media. Does it make sense?
I cannot get over. I mean, I don't even understand Igbo, but that Isime Miri Jaffa that she's always shouting. What does that even mean, please? What is that? Please, someone, please tell me.
Isime Jaffa, it's a title, you know, like one of the ways to praise a man, you know, there are ways to actually massage Igbo men, their ego, right? You know, their names and titles. Odogunwoke, Akokalesia, Akodinanwa, Isimili Jofo, Wokom, Inara Fudinkpa, Ifogologi Mea.
That one, it just sounds like the guy should be spraying you money. But honestly, we don't know what went on behind closed doors. Everyone has an opinion to what they want to accept in a marriage. It was just a very messy situation. To be very honest, there's just going around social media as well, allegedly, that May is also seeing a married man. Now, she left her marriage, she left her husband to start dating another married man. Well, I don't know if it's true. Everyone needs to just mind their business. But for content purposes, you know, I have to sprinkle some salt and jar into the mix. But like you said, everyone should just mind their business, everything. We don't know really what happens behind closed doors. So it's
whatever makes you happy.
Exactly.
Whatever makes you happy, really.
All right. Can we talk about a trending topic? And I want to hear your opinion, right? So I'm going to read the story to you.
Okay.
And I want you to tell me what you think.
Okay,
so this poster says, my 11-year-old daughter asked me what I thought about abortion, and I gave her my views. My views are, if a lady was raped or abused and she wanted to abort the child because the child would be a constant reminder of the pain she went through, then she would have my support. Secondly, if keeping the baby would impose a health risk to the mother, then yes. However, if an adult consents to sex without taking prior steps to ensure pregnancy doesn't occur, but goes ahead to get pregnant, then she shouldn't be allowed to abort the baby, because I believe every action should have consequences. My 11-year-old daughter agreed with me. What's your take? Do you have a different view? I need to know your opinion. Do you think the mother was right telling her daughter abortion is okay in some segments, or it's a no-no for you entirely?
But in all honesty, yes, it's okay in some segments. For goodness sake, if a woman has an ectopic pregnancy, you ask her not to abort it and die. Do you get it? If it's going to impose a health risk, you get rid of it, right? I don't know about the situation of maybe rape, but then again, whatever helps your mental health, because in all honesty, it is one thing to bring a child to this world, and then it's another thing to bring a child that you're willing to take care of. You're in the right state of mind to take care of. You know, you can't bring a child that you're not in the right state of mind to take care of and then just bring just about another nuisance to this world. Do you understand? I have not said I am pro or anti-abortion, but my point is, if it is a necessity for you to get rid of it, my dear,
Do it. I mean, it's a very dicey situation. A lot of, especially when it comes to religion, people frown at abortion, no matter what it entails or how we got there. And my take on it as well is, it's very difficult being a mom, to be honest. So a woman should have the right to her decisions, to her body, to
Exactly.
her future. So if a woman decides, you know what, okay, I made a mistake, we had unprotected sex, and it resulted in pregnancy, she should be allowed to make the decision to say, you know what, I'm going to terminate this and face the consequences by herself in the future. Everyone has their own lives to live and will be judged accordingly. So someone saying, or president coming and saying, you know what, abortion is banned, isn't fair to anybody's life or future. Well, I'm going to ask you one more question and
Okay.
would digress again, okay? I've always approached women with a mix of respect and curiosity, recognizing that each one is unique. Never assumed they're all the same. Been dating my current girlfriend for 7 months now, and things are serious, marriage serious. My last relationship ended in chaos, no closure, no explanation. But this week, my ex reached out saying she's in town and wants to meet up to discuss what went down. I agreed, telling her to name the place and time. Honestly, I'm curious about what she wants to say and I need some closure. The past still lingers and I want to understand what went wrong. The meeting might be the chance to put that chapter behind me for good. As soon as the meeting was fixed, I told my girlfriend, and for someone who I love for being the most understanding and also straightforward human, she gave me the silent treatment for a full day until I drove to her place to ask her what could be wrong. She said I fixed the meeting without asking if she would be okay with it. She told me she didn't think I should go. I told her that speaks of trust issues and I was quite disappointed in her. I have no bad intentions whatsoever. I'm in love with my girlfriend and my life revolves around her. Why would meeting an ex cause her to act out of character this way? Am I not seeing things her way? The meeting is set for the next week and my lady has asked me never to speak with her again if I go meet up with my ex. This doesn't seem like a healthy behavior to me. I do not want to be hasty. Please help me. Wahala, what's your take?
Why? He said he's looking for closure and he wants to go to his ex. And then you fix a meeting without telling your girlfriend. It's wrong. I think that is a conversation that should have started as soon as the whole conversation with his ex started, right? And to be honest, you can't blame the girl for acting the way she acted, or her reaction, right? Because this is an ex. You know, there's this thing people always say. They say, can we be friends after a breakup? I'm not a believer of us being friends after a breakup. If we can manage to be friends after a breakup, then there was never love. Do you understand? Just go your way. If you're an ex, just be an ex. Why would you want to go and see your ex? For goodness sake, I don't know what you guys have shared in the past, and then the next thing, you guys will start having memories of the past, and then you steal a kiss, and then you tap her bum, and
From clap to
did you
dance.
tell me?
True.
Do you get? So, and as for the girl, like I said, I don't blame her reaction, but I'm thinking she should actually suggest that they go for this meeting together.
Ooh.
Yes.
They go for this meeting together. I mean, I respect your point, but I think if I were in her shoes, I think that would be a bit beneath me. Like, why would I want to go sit down with your ex? Like, what's that about?
If she's that uncomfortable, that's my point.
Honestly, I think a lot of men need to be given a taste of their medicine. If reverse was the case and she's like, you know what, okay, go. I agree with, I'm fine with it. And next week she comes, you know what, my ex called me up and wants to see me. You would see how this man will blow up.
Actually.
So sometimes you just need to give men a taste of what they dish out, you know? Because first of all, to be very fair, right? I need to speak from both sides. If he needed closure, he needs closure because he said he really loved this lady. And I can see his perspective where he says he wants a woman that trusts him. So if he says, you know what, there's nothing involved, I really just need to sit this one out and talk with her, she owes it to him to trust him. And also exes, you know, yes, we had a good relationship going and it unfortunately didn't work out. If it didn't end up being abusive physically or verbally, we could still have a cordial relationship. Like, we don't have to talk every day. We can still respect each other, respect the new relationships we're in, but we don't have to be enemies.
We don't have to be enemies, but we don't have to be friends either
Either,
way. Yeah.
right.
Because why would I be friends with you? I don't know, but there's this thing they always say: do not tempt yourself. Do you understand? And I just don't, I'm not a believer of the whole be friends with your ex. And as for I also would not blame this guy for wanting closure. Been there, done that. I have actually been in a relationship where I never had closure, and it was crazy. It was crazy wild, right? And sometimes closure isn't really about us trying to talk about the good moments. It's about us finding out what happened, like what exactly happened. Because sometimes you go through a breakup, and the fact that you don't even know what you did
It's true.
would, over the years, will keep tormenting you. You just remember that, wait, someone broke up with me and I don't even know what I did to this person, right? So it's just
I think sometimes why closure is good is that it also highlights your flaws. Like, your partner can highlight, say, sorry, the way you're angry and the way you talk to me, you have to change that. If not, it will be a problem in your next relationship. So that also gives you room to improve characters by finding closure from someone who has actually been with you romantically, physically, knows you, right? So, I mean, it's a very dicey situation what this young man is in. Do you think the lady has a point saying she's going to be done in the relationship if he actually sees his ex?
So maybe she has, okay, I don't want to use the word insecure, but maybe she has her reasons. So I think it's left for the boy to reassure her, or the guy to
True.
reassure her, because people really overlook this love languages. Word of affirmation, reassuring your woman that, girl, it is you. I have chosen. We have chosen ourselves, and we're going to do this, right? So if you have been able to pass at that assignment of reassuring her, right, I do not think it should be a problem. But then it's only going to be a problem if you yourself as a person don't even know how to reassure your woman, right? So maybe somehow she feels like insecure, or she's scared, or maybe she even knows what his ex looks like. Maybe she feels, yes, it happens. Sometimes, sometimes you can be dating somebody and then he just keeps talking about his ex. Unconsciously, you find yourself wanting to know, I want to see, let me even know if she's somebody I should be worried about. And then you see a picture and you're like, you now realize that your breast is not so big. And you're like,
But he likes it big.
I don't have bum bum. He say I'm his spec and he dated this. Is it that he doesn't have spec? Or so who is now? Do you get? So sometimes it might be as a result of insecurity, right? So it's his duty right now to reassure her.
A very wise answer you just gave. But also, looking at the man's write-up, you can tell this man is a good man. He's always like, for a man to actually want to sit down and want closure, that tells that he actually has a kind heart.
Is he a good man, or is he seeking social media validation?
Hey, that's one way to see it. That's one way to say it. But you know what? Relationships are really difficult, to be honest. Just like you said, speak your partner's love language, and everything will be seamless. It was amazing hanging out with you, Trinity. I got to also learn from you, not just ask you some silly questions, but hearing you speak. You're very mature, quite wise, and it was amazing hanging out with you. What are you up to at the moment?
I have a project that is on post-production. We screened for the very first time at AFRIF, that's the Africa International Film Festival.
Okay.
You talked about DNA, so the title of the movie is DNA. Talk about DNA sometimes. So it's DNA, definitely not an angel. So it's a different kind of story, a story that speaks abuse from a relative on the male side. We keep talking about the girls, how they get sexually abused. True. And we forget that even the guys actually get sexually abused. So,
sorry, can I ask you this? Because if you wrote the script, you should have done some research. So, boys that get abused, how do they usually get abused? Because girls, it's from uncles, it could be from uncles, it could be from, so how do boys really get abused?
Nannies. aunties, older women. There are a lot of women that have insecurity issues that would rather do things with smaller boys than older men. They want control, right? So, and the story came about from friends, people's experience. I got to the realization that almost every man I talk to tells me how they lost their virginity. One older woman, one auntie, one, and it
Or
just
nanny.
one nanny, and it just dawned on me that these guys are going through a lot. But then somehow, when someone tells you that a guy was sexually abused, you just say, did he not enjoy it? Excuse me, it's abuse. Abuse is abuse. You can't tell me that because he's a guy then he enjoyed it. So I did my research, asked questions, and he came up with it.
Do you think male children who were abused at a young age actually grow up to have some kind of sexual perverseness?
Yeah, not preference. That's what I was saying. I've seen young boys who would rather chase after their aunties than their mates, right? You can't see after exposing a child to certain sexual activity, right? And then he meets his mates that is still learning, that don't understand anything. He'll get bored. So the thing is, it's more, I think it's just preference. The sexual preference is really different. Their approach to women is really different. You just see one tiny human being asking for your number, and you're looking like, hey, if I start to be born quicker, for don't born. Right. So I feel most times boys like that or men like that are actually people that must have been abused one way or the other. My opinion, I'm not saying like all the time, but often at times.
Now, do you like to write scripts on societal issues? Is it something that you're more involved in, like the
Yeah.
abuse? Tell me a bit about other scripts you've written.
I have the Bright Prize on Amazon Prime presently.
Nice.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. You wrote that or you directed it? What's your involvement?
I produced it, and it's my story too.
Oh, that's good.
So that story came about after okay. It came about after my sister's traditional marriage. Not like so much happened, but my mom is late, God bless her soul. So I'm the first child, so I was literally the mother of the day, and it was seamless. But then it felt stressful to me, and it just dawned on me that okay, and then there's some regions where they say getting married is actually a hell of a problem. So I did my findings, and the bride prize happened. I have a story that was produced by Chris O'Day for Zozo Film. That is Choke. Is a story about on sickle cell and how it affects the victims, the people, right? How they begin to see their parents, because this most of these societal issues are actually deeper than we see them, right? So it is something I am about. I like to tell relatable stories that would touch people's life, right?
And also
Yeah.
teach, maybe.
Teach, yes, exactly.
I love that. Trinity, was amazing having you on the show.
Thank
We
you.
hope to see you again, and we pray that you have many more amazing movies to share with the world. Just keep doing your thing. Thanks for having us, or thanks for being here at the House Chronicles. It's always a pleasure. Please shout out to your fans, and also for the youngings. I'm sure young people out there are aspiring to be filmmakers, scriptwriters, or producers like yourself. Please give them a word of advice.
Look here, your dreams are valid, like very valid. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, right? Don't get tired because the road is rough. To be honest, it's never really smooth. You get the easy way would not give you that thing you're looking for. Your dreams are valid. They're lying to you if they say it's not.
It's always a pleasure hanging out right here at the House Chronicles headquarters. Guys, did you hang out with us, or did you have a fun time hanging out with us right here Friday night at the house with your girl Asari and the lovely Trinity? Don't forget to keep up with us on social media. We are the House Chronicles on all social media platforms: YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you name it, we run the show. It was amazing as usual. Thank you so much, Trinity. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.